Hello, this is Bill. So today I have my science fiction reread project. So I've picked out 20 books that I'd like to reread, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Most of these 20 books are placeholders for a series or authors who I want to read completely. So first is Cluster by Piers Anthony. So it was the late 70s or early 80s when I read this. So at the time it was sort of far out compared to anything I'd read at that before that time. So I want to see how it stands up to everything I've read since then. So this one is copyright 1977, and this is a second printing. So people identified a lot of Piers Anthony as trash during Garb August. So I'm wondering if the Cluster series is trash. That by the descriptions I've read, sounds like it probably is. So on the back here it says, from the regions of Outworld to the land of Canopians and beyond, through the distant reaches of time and space, and the vast spectrum of Curlian apparitions, Flint the caveman is master and slave, conqueror and hero, slayer primeval, and seducer triumphant. So this series has 5 books. I've probably read 4 of them before. And then there's all the other books by Piers Anthony that I haven't read. I have many of them, maybe 20 books. And the Santaroga Barrier by Frank Herbert. So I read this back in the 80s. So this book has a split personality. But I don't remember anything about it. But I don't have many Frank Herbert books beyond his Dune novels. And I want to reread all his Dune novels. The Gentle Giants of Ganymede by James P. Hogan. So this is the second book in the Giant series. So I think there's 5 books in the series. I don't have the 5th one. But I probably want to reread all of his books that I have, so that's a whole shelf full of books. Crucible of Time by John Brunner. So I think this is one I read before of his. This one is copyright 1982, 1983. First paperback edition, 1984. Ballantyne books. So this one was copyright 1978. Fifth printing 1982. This one was first published in a shorter version in Amazing Stories magazine, copyright 1967. And this is 16th printing, January 1981. Tea from an Empty Cup by Pat Cadigan. Copyright 1998. First mass market edition, September 1999. And In the Ocean of Night. So this is the first book in the Galactic Center series. So there's 6 books in the series. So I've read all of them, but I have a vague idea what they were about, but that memory of them is almost completely faded. Copyright 1972, 1973, 1974, 1977. So first Warner Books paperback printing, February 2004. Sundiver by David Brin. So I read this one. It's the first in the upload novels. So there's 6 books in the upload novels. But this is the only one I've read. I haven't got to the other, never got to the other ones. So now I need to reread this one first. So this is copyright 1980. Bantam reissues, September 1995. Greg Egan, Quarantine. I need to reread all his books, plus read a few that I haven't read yet. So this is copyright 1992. So this third impression published in Great Britain in 2001 by Golance. Golance. Hyperion by Dan Simmons. So there's 4 books in this series. Copyright 1989. Cover art copyright 1990 by Gary Rudell. Phantom reissue December 1995. Singularity Sky by Charles Stross. I think this is a trilogy. Ace Mass Market Edition, July 2004. Copyright 2003. So these are mostly in publication order, but I was trying to get the order I read them in, which is mostly guesswork. Blood Music by Gregory. So copyright 1985. So this is a SF Masterworks, the older style of cover. So that's somebody with his biological experiments run amok and transforms everything in the world. Neal Stephenson, The Diamond Age. So I've read Snow Crash twice, but this one I've only read once. This one involves more nanotechnology as well as AI. So the subtitle here is "Or a Young Lady's Illustrated Primer." So this girl from the slums basically finds a young lady's primer, which was intended for a wealthy girl to train her how to be a lady. But so this young girl has access to all these advanced AI tutors that are normally only available for wealthy people. Iain by Gregory. So there's 2 or 3 books in this series. So it's copyright 1985. First Tor edition 1986. So basically all I remember about this is some large object shows up in orbit, which turns out to be an alien artifact. Or maybe it's something from the future, I can't remember. But maybe that's a spoiler. Spin State by Chris Moriarty. Bantam Books. Bantam Mass Market Edition, December 2004. Copyright 2003. Recursion by Tony Ballantyne. Bantam Spectra book, September 2006. Copyright 2004. And in Iain M. Banks, Against a Dark Background. So that this is one of his standalone novels, copyright 1993. So it's got a whole list of reprinted dates. And the last one is 2006. Deepness in the Sky by Vernor Vinge. So this is probably the second book in the trilogy, but by timeline it's the first book. So copyright 1999. First mass market edition, January 2000. So in this one, the main character ends up on a starship, and he eventually learns out all the systems and hacks the software, invents a galaxy-wide networking system so that all the trader ships, whenever they learn something new, they pass the information on to all the other ships in their network. So the protocol for the data transmissions takes into account the vast distances and time delays. Another standalone by Iain M. Banks, The Algebraist. So this one involves a world around a gas giant. After the nearby wormhole is being destroyed, so you're cut off from the rest of civilization. So copyright 2004. reprinted 2005 6 times, 2006 twice, and then 2007. So I think I've read all of his standalone science fiction, but I still have some of the Culture series that I haven't read yet. And I haven't read any of his other non-science fiction books. So these ones I have more accurate dates of when I read them, because I've been tracking on Goodreads. So this one I read in 2017. This one I read in 2018. This one I read in 2019. And Pandora Star by Peter F. Hamilton. So this is basically, there's basically 2 books for the novel. And this is the first half of the novel. It's copyright 2004. First mass market edition, February 2005. So there's the 2 books in the Commonwealth saga. But then there's the Void trilogy, which is also in the same universe, and then the Abyss Beyond and A Night Without Stars are also part of the same universe. So all I've read is Pandora Star and Judas Unchained, so I need to read all those other ones as well. And the Night's Dawn trilogy, I read the first one. I need to reread it before I read the next 2. And those 3 are all over 1,000 pages. Also, these 2 books are getting close to 1,000 pages. This one's 988. The last one on this list is Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. So I read the short story version of this for English at school in the early 70s. And then I read it again maybe 5 years ago. But the novel version, this one I read in 2021. So this is copyright 1966, 1994. So take me a while to get through all of these, and as well as reading these and all the other books that in the series and these authors. Then there's all the science fiction novels that I have that I haven't read yet, that I'd like to read sooner than later. So I think I need to focus more on science fiction and read at least 1 or 2 every month. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.